the Rugby World Cup. 2 years to go until it starts in England. That's the Webb Ellis Trophy. He can touch it because he's won it. You can't touch it.
Seriously?
No, not unless you're wearing some white gloves.
Oddly enough.
And of course, last one in England in 2003 in Australia, and Lawrence Dallaglio was in that team. He knows what it's like to hold that trophy and win it and have that feeling in your heart that you are the world.
So this is the Webb Ellis. This is it.
William Webb Ellis. Yeah, I can't believe that was 10 years ago actually that England won the
You look just
trophy.
the same.
You had much more hair in those days.
Yeah, I turned my head the other way around.
If you're hosting a World Cup, it's a massive responsibility. Of course it is, to make sure it's a great tournament and all the rest of it. But if you're playing in it, I guess you've got to get to the final, really, haven't you, if you're the host?
Well, I think there's added pressure from hosting and playing it in your own country. I think if we look back at history of Rugby World Cups, the host nation tends to do very well. New Zealand, of course, won the competition when they were hosting it in 2011. South Africa, Australia got to the final in 2003, beaten by England. So, yeah, there's a bit more added pressure on the England team, but they're coming along nicely, and you know, they're not quite the best team in the world yet, but they're certainly moving in the right direction. Yeah,
where are they compared to, say, where you guys were 2 years before the World
Cup? Well,
they're
a team that are improving. They beat New Zealand last autumn, who are the current #1 ranked team in the world, but then, of course, lost to Wales in the Six Nations decider down in Cardiff. So I think they've got room to improve, but they're getting much more competitive within their squad, and it's a big year for them ahead of the World Cup now.
Is it hard to get excited? I mean, it's quite a way away, isn't it? 2 years. It's a long time to be thinking about winning that.
Well, it comes around the corner very quickly, as we saw with the Olympics. You know, start the noise. There's absolutely no doubt that you know, getting people talking about rugby, getting people excited, getting people thinking about the game. We've just launched a Post in the Park campaign where we've put 100 sets of rugby posts up all around the country in places that you wouldn't otherwise perhaps see them. So it's getting very excited. I was here yesterday up the road at Inwood Park in Hounslow with local kids and put a set of rugby posts up there. And really, you know, people, you know, will be ready to launch the tickets at the beginning of next year. So, you know, it's building, definitely, and yeah, it's getting very exciting.
It is now incredibly appealing to children, isn't it? We were talking of children, we were talking of Manu Tuolangi a lot in the news yesterday and today, and the Prime Minister said, it's fine, he did bunny ears behind me. You know, it's fine, I get it, it's just a bit of fun. What do you think about something like that? I mean, he's always getting into scrapes, this one, isn't he?
Well, he had a bit of an issue in the World Cup, but I understand that him and David Cameron Manu and David Cameron have tweeted each other, and he's apologised, and David Cameron said, look, don't worry about it. And interestingly, the Prime Minister of New Zealand's arriving today, so they'll be talking rugby, I'm sure. Yeah. You know, with 2 years to go to Rugby World Cup. But
what's the worst thing you ever did that you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, it was a bit naughty?
Much worse than that. I
yeah, I think I might remember.
Yeah,
bit of ructions going on in European rugby at the moment, and talk of the French clubs breaking away with the English clubs. You know, breaking away from what is essentially their Champions League. Really, what do you think of that? Would that affect rugby in any way if there were two different?
Well, I think it would. I mean,
competitions?
if you look at the names on this trophy, I think other than 6 out of the 7 times it's been won by Southern Hemisphere countries. So the notion that the Northern Hemisphere are sort of arguing and squabbling over their own competition is going to seriously impact on each and every Northern Hemisphere's country's chance of winning the World Cup. So I'm sure at some stage they'll get round the table and thrash out a deal.
So you think it would be bad for a breakaway?
Yeah, definitely would be bad. But notwithstanding that each different party's got different views at the moment, you know, I do think that everyone wants to come round the table and make sure that the negotiations end up being the right ones.
Rugby World Cup 2015, 2 years from today.